Okay, we are back with another episode of Teen Talks Podcast. Today, we got our guest, Amanda Giordano. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, do we want to talk about the try number one of this podcast?
Some technical difficulties.
Some technical some technical difficulties in and out of the podcast. So we decided scrap that one. Let's just record another one.
If you watched it, it's a part 2. If you didn't, welcome.
See, this is why you need my notifications. So just in case I regret posting a podcast, you could say you watched it.
Seriously.
Just like a handful of the people that downloaded it. 11 people in the first hour.
That's crazy.
You are a high demand. How do you feel?
What does high demand mean?
High demand meaning a lot of people want to listen to us talk.
I'm truly gassed.
So me and Amanda have been friends since we met in grade 7. Mm-hmm. And I think grade 7 is the main point in your life, like the beginning of teenage adolescence. Grade 6, end of grade 6, summer grade 6, going on to grade 7 is that's where it starts. That's where everything starts. That's when me and Amanda met. So I think we should talk about getting into the adolescence, because I have viewers that are younger, that are in grade 7 or 8 potentially, and I have viewers like that are our age. Maybe it's like nostalgic for them, because drama is drama no matter what. Yeah. Whether you're in grade 6 or whether you're in grade 12, it's all the same. It obviously when we us grade 12s or first years, when we look back at it, we're just like
oh, that's so stupid.
So fucking stupid.
But we did that.
But we did that when we were that age, right? I look back at my old videos and I'm just like, like grade 9 self. I'm like looking back to grade 9s now. I'm like, oh wow. And then I'm looking back at my videos and I'm like, wow, I was that kid. I was
literally him.
So I want to bring the embarrassment out of it, and also like the problems we had, and maybe people could cope or relate to it. So you could start grade 7. Where were you in grade 7? What place were you in grade 7? Maybe like grade 6 summer.
Grade 6 summer, like early grade 7. Like for me, it was all like my school, we're all just kids still. Like we didn't care about the drama. We didn't care about any of that stuff. But it was like kind of the middle of grade 7 when like all the drama started happening. Yeah. And then I feel like because of all the drama that was happening in my school, I felt like I had to branch out, I guess. And then that's how I started meeting all of you people. Everyone that goes to the mall and everything, all the Woodridge people. So like, I don't know what you're asking me right now.
I know. I just want to know.
I don't know what to say.
Before,
it was just I felt like I was still a child.
Why do you think people get into drama like at that age?
Because I feel like everyone is one, trying to grow up a lot faster than they should be. 2, because everyone always has this like idea of like being the cool kid, especially when it comes to like the teenage years. It's like being that cool kid, and that's like social media, all the TV shows that we watch and everything. Like even when we were younger, like Hannah Montana, like those 2 girls that go ooh, like they put like that like image into our minds as a kid. It's like, oh, when I'm in high school or when like I'm older and I'm in like middle school or whatever, like I want to be that cool kid. So I feel like everyone is kind of literally just like vouching for themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like they're selfish, but which makes sense because everyone's just trying to like, I think we fit in. I cover it so many times within all my videos of fitting in is overrated and et cetera, but I think that most of the time when we're talking about like growing up, you have to conform, otherwise you're gonna be like an outsider.
Not even an outsider, like you're not going to be as educated.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
So yeah, exactly. Like there's a difference between like street smart and like book smart. I think in grade 6 and 7, everyone kind of broke out of like the ooh cooties, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and started
like,
getting it and started
cooties.
Going like, ooh
cooties.
Who is that? And I don't know what it is. If there was like the dances were divided from like junior to like intermediate.
That's literally it.
Like everyone's just so much more like mature and like they want to grow up fast.
I don't know about your school. I don't think your school had it, but my school, when we got to grade 7, we got lockers. And I don't know why, but that did something to like that grade. I was like, oh, we're basically high schoolers. We have lockers. We're cool.
A bunch of people are like putting stupid shit in the lockers and like mirrors and like whiteboards.
Have a chandelier in the freaking locker.
Shelves that you never use.
And then oh my god, it's funny because
useless magnets.
I remember like in grade 8, I had my locker, whatever. So I decorated it, whatever. Yeah. And I got all that stuff for my locker in grade 9. And I remember I came to grade 9 and I was like walking the halls and I see like all these older kids, their lockers were like empty. With like 2 books in there and a jacket.
I didn't use a locker in grade 12.
I was gonna say I didn't use a locker in grade 12.
Grade 9, I was like,
I like decorated
Deck
everything.
it out.
Put pictures.
Fuzzy and Roman was there.
We used to like decorate people's lockers for their birthdays.
In grade 12, I was just like, yo, happy birthday.
Like, yeah.
But
you want a calf cookie?
Yeah, fuck.
Calf cookies on me.
$2 now. Fuck that.
Seriously.
They deserve a little bit more. Half
That's
of it.
insane.
We split it.
We just like skipped 8 years. Okay, we're gonna go back.
Yeah, we gotta go back. We gotta go back.
7.
Yeah, that's what it is. We're divided from like the school. Like in our school, we had grade 7s were on one side and individual, and in grade 8s we're on like the opposite side of the schoolyard because we divided the school.
Oh yeah, because your schoolyard was kind of like this.
Who cares?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I think like the division of it were like levels. Like we were like elites. Like we were the
it's
kings,
like we're
and now we're the
literally
peasants.
the kings of the school, and now like we're nobody.
So that's exactly what I think. Like in grade 6, 7, and 8, everyone was trying to be someone they're not, and this came with so many consequences and so much drama. And like, do you remember one story?
Okay, wait. Before you tell the story, and I feel like it's also that everyone's really just trying to find who they are.
As cliche as that sounds, that's true.
Yeah, like
because
you know what I mean. Like, do you know how many? And that's why, like, when people go, "Oh, my mom said it's just a phase," but it's not. It's like, do you know how many phases? Like, I don't know, especially girls, like that we go through and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
We all go through phases, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I have been in. I haven't been. That's what I'm saying. I haven't been in any.
I was just about to say, I don't think you've ever been through a phase.
I've always been like the same. Like
you haven't changed at all.
Entertainment, but like I think that's what I was. That's what I want to get to. It's like I haven't changed in a way, but
you haven't changed here, but you've changed in here.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't changed outside, but inside, like my mind has changed drastically. Even though in grade 6, 7, and 8, I was always like I used to write like motivational speeches and shit. You know, like I was always that wise person that I am today.
Crime Stopper winner.
Shut the fuck up. Opposite of everybody, but I always found my way back into it, and I want to talk through that, like the ups and downs. I want to hear a story about you and your ups and downs through grade 6, 7, and 8, because I do remember when I was like we were like best friends in like grade 7, and it was like all over the place. I don't know what the fuck was going on with you, and it was just a phase. And I remember like seeing you at Wonderland.
Was
and not
it a
even,
phase?
Yeah, I think it was a phase and a learning experience. But like
for me or for you?
For you, was it?
It's definitely a learning experience, but it's like the whole phase thing. It's like that girl is still in me. Yeah. So is it a phase?
A good question. Yeah. Well, take the floor. I want to know.
Okay. So you keep saying grade 6, 7, and 8, and like I have to kind of like say no to that. It was really just like end of grade 7, middle of grade 7, grade 8 for me. Like grade 6, fair enough.
I was like, I had a big change from 6 to 7.
That's what I'm saying.
So maybe
you guys, and that's
for myself.
But yeah, like you and like I remember like the group of people who always go to the much dances and like the mall and everything. You guys started earlier. Like you guys started in like grade 6, grade 7 basically, and like I remember like seeing you guys and being like, those are my people. Like those are the people I want to be hanging out with. That's when I started realizing like shit started going downhill at my school, and then I started drifting away from my school and hanging out with like you and everyone outside of school. And then so that was that. Just like this is like no diss to anyone at my school, at my elementary school, because it's like literally now like we all joke about it and we all like laugh about it, and like I love everyone there because it's like we were younger.
After that phase, after everything, like even elementary school, it's just, you just laugh about it now. That's because you could agree right now it's like petty arguments. Yeah. But back then it was like super serious.
Like we'll joke about some stuff, but then some stuff even till this day is like obviously still more serious and everything that went on with me. But then again, those people don't really know that much, so you can't even be like shady to them because they don't know, basically.
Facts. I think we're going into this blind just because I'm just
you want it like truthful.
Yeah, I want it to be like super truthful. I don't like writing stuff down, especially when it comes to like talking about the past.
Let me grab my notes.
Fuck's sakes, just give me a sec. Let's cut. But I think that most of the time when you're growing up, with me personally, I was always like the outcast. Like during recess, I'm hanging out with the cool kid, you know, I'm just chilling. Everyone's looking at me and my group. We were like the portable kids hiding behind the portables, hugging and shit.
Stop, I've literally heard about the porta packs before.
So like, I always was there, but I always hated it. Like I would just felt uncomfortable. And I say this to like Liv and all of them now, right? They know I was always just uncomfortable in that situation. And then I was always like, I would always just go there and like talk, but like feel like kind of left out. Fuck this shit, go play football, right? Or like kickball or something. Not kickball, Foursquares.
It's funny because it's like you say you always felt like that, like basically you'd say like all of elementary school when stuff started getting more serious.
Yeah. In general, I always felt like that.
For me, because I went to 2 elementary schools. From JK to grade 4, I went to St. Margaret Mary, and then grade 5 to grade 8, I went to KPS. Mm-hmm. And at St. Margaret Mary, it was me and this other girl, and like we were like the cool kids. Like everyone wanted to hang out with me and her, and like if people would hang out with us, like it'd be like, you know what I mean, like that, like stupid, like, oh my god, like
I remember you, like your name. That's how I got to know you. That's true. Like I do remember your name.
It's funny because a lot of people say that. Like a lot of people be like, I remember your name, and like that's me growing up. I'm like, I want people to know who I am. I want people to know my name. But it's funny because it could be like,
you don't.
No, I do.
You want people to know,
but for the reasons that I want them to know my name.
That's never gonna happen.
Exactly. So there's a group of people that are like, oh, I know Manager Jan, but then there's a group of people that's like,
I know Manager Jan. Yeah.
And it's funny because like those people that are like, oh, I know man, like they always somehow know my family.
Yeah. And
it's weird. Like, do you know how many times like I've had like family members
Your family like, is the whole Brébeuf.
I'm literally, if I'm not blood, I'm family friends with like literally all of Woodbridge.
It's like John Paulo.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's like John Paulo's one half of Woodbridge.
I'm related. I'm technically related to John Paulo. Do you remember the conversation we had when we were like, oh, we're gonna go to the same high school? Because we were like, we were like really, really good friends, like FaceTime friends.
Yeah, we were.
And we're like, oh my god, what school are you going to? What high school are you going to? And you're like, oh, Brébeuf. And I'm like, no way, I'm going to Brébeuf too.
One, I wanted to go to Brébeuf because both my sisters went there, and all the sports coaches knew me.
Yeah.
Secondly, the sports at Brébeuf supposedly were better than the ones at Emily Carr. But then the third reason was just like I wanted to become, I loved meeting new people. So I was like, I wanted to meet new people and like branch off basically. And
not be stuck in the same situation.
And like I loved in my KPS yearbook in like grade 8, I loved that I was the only person that it said high school Saint Jean de Brébeuf. I don't know why. It's like being like that different. Like I loved it.
Wasn't like an attention thing though?
Not even.
Because I find myself sometimes doing that.
It wasn't even an attention thing. It was just like, I feel like that was the one thing I probably did in elementary school that was like the right thing.
Okay.
Like I felt like I knew it was going to benefit me in like 7 different ways. And I stuck to my gut and I did it. Because I was literally about to go to my mom and be like, I want to go to Emily Carr.
Just because to follow like the crowd, I guess.
Yeah. And also because like, I'm pretty sure like the boy I liked or whatever was going there or whatever. Like, you know?
Yes.
Stuff like that. Going back to St. Margaret Mary, how I said like, oh, is it cool kid, blah, blah, whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as I came to KPS, I will remember this. I went there and at my other old school, I was like, people liked me because I was a tomboy, basically. Mm-hmm. Like I was always hanging out with the guys. I was always playing soccer and stuff like that. But when I remember I went to KPS and I was like to one of my friends, I was like, let's go play soccer with the guys. And like she straight up looked at me and she was like, no. She's like, why would we do that? Like, why would we go play soccer with the boys? Like, we're going to go like stand in a circle over there, basically.
And like take pictures.
No, I don't think we had phones.
No.
We'd make up dances. We'd make up dances and then we had the playground, so we'd do like gymnastics on the playgrounds.
Yes, gymnastics.
I don't know how to dance. I don't know how to do gymnastics.
So
that's what I mean. Like I was always the person who'd be like, yeah, like in the corner or something. So it's like going from everyone wanting me to play sports, everyone like loving to hang around me, and then going to this where it's like I have to act like this girl that I'm not, basically. Like I literally have to act, I had to act female. Like I had to act like a girly girl, basically. And I wasn't used to that because like I was grown up in sports. I was grown up, like my best friend for the longest time was a guy, my cousin. Like, so I was always, we were always like fighting and everything. Like I grew up very tomboyish.
Yeah.
So that drastic change, I feel like forcing myself to become this girly girl had like already had an effect on me within the first months that I was at this school.
So what effects, if we like give it
confidence, basically
confidence
and like being comfortable in my own skin, I feel, and I'd always make me feel like I'm like, I felt like every day I was going there and I would always have to make sure, like I actually remember this. I remember one night, 2 things. One night I was sitting in my bed and at this point I had a diary or a journal.
We all did, yeah.
And I was writing in it and I would literally, I think I still have it too. I wrote something like, I have to make sure that I don't do this tomorrow so this person knows that I could hang out with them. Mm-hmm. Like it was something where it's like I have to make sure that I do this so they like me. And I still have it like in my journals written down.
It's crazy, man. I wish I wrote down everything, like all my thoughts. That's why I love YouTube, because I get to like, I'm going to look back at all these things and be like, haha, how little, you know? I wish I wrote down all my thoughts in grade 6, 7. I did, but then I lost my phones and it's through my notes somewhere, my iPhone 5S, my 5C, something like that. I remember writing things down, especially at parties or something, like after parties or after something. Like I would always feel down bad because, like I said, I always felt like an outcast, no matter how fun I was. Do you remember me like Much Dance and all like these parties? I was always like dancing. I was always doing the things. Like
and so
I was always
many
having
guys
a good time.
would be like,
all these guys would just kind of like look around and be like,
hands against the wall,
like sitting down or whatever. Like I was always like up there, like dancing, trying to have a good time. Yeah. And I think that's the difference between me and everyone else. It's just like, personally, that takes balls, yo. Like to just do that shit. And like anyone who's like grade 7, grade 8 right now, yo, like it's so fucking hard to fit in. Yeah. It's hard because you come from this grade 6 self and or grade 7, right? And you're blossoming into like a teenager. First of all, you have all these hormone changes and shit. Girls are getting their fucking periods. Guys are getting taller and getting deeper voices and voice cracks. You're going through all these changes.
Mentally and physically, it's all changes.
Facts. So all these changes are affecting us all at once. And on top of that, we have friend problems and our self problems. And that's why the most important thing that I think about when I'm looking back at it is just like, yo, I was myself. I've always preached to be yourself, but that's just fucking hard because so many people are gonna manipulate you and everyone else is fake, right? Not in a way like I'm trying to limit like the cliche stuff I say on this podcast. If everyone else is doing the opposite of what you're doing, you're gonna be left out. Mm-hmm. So you find the need, like we're breaking it down. You find the need to be like, okay, I got to do that. Because then I will fit in. I have to not dance with the girls because when they're doing the thing, I have to stand on the wall with the guys and be on my phone, not do anything. Even though I'm fun inside and I want to party and I want to have fun, I want to listen to music, I want to dance. All the guys are only dancing to the trap music, and I have to do that in order to be cool, right? Everyone's jumping around. Yeah. All the guys are not dancing to Spanish or any other pop fucking music. They're all dancing to rap and jumping up and down and stuff and holding each other's shoulders. If I don't do that, then I'm not cool. And that's the things that, like, obviously that's super, super exaggerated and super specific. Yeah. But these are the things I thought about when I was like growing up. And over time, they kind of get a little bit more harsher, right? If I don't fight someone, I'm going to be a pussy, right? If I don't stand my ground, I'm going to be a pussy. If I don't fucking hook up with this girl, I'm going to be a bitch, right? All these things that you're like, peer pressure is a powerful fucking thing. Mm-hmm. And don't tell me that, oh, I don't give in to peer pressure. Everyone fucking gives in to peer pressure.
In different ways.
I give in to peer pressure. I was super wise back then, super wise right now, and I still give in to fucking peer pressure. If everyone around me is doing something and I don't feel like doing it, but I'm gonna fucking do it because everyone else is doing it. Yeah. Right? I think that goes on to the topic where me and Brandon covered. It's just like surrounding yourself with good people, but like no one's fucking good. No one's good. Everyone's gonna turn their back on you. You're always gonna have a problem with someone. Yeah. No one's good. You can't control someone. You can't control your friends. So you might as well just live your own path. And that's why I think that most people are so fucked up in the head, but including me and including you, everyone's fucked up. But it's like through grade 7 to grade 12, this adolescence period, everyone's everywhere. And that's why it's the drama, I think, is emphasized, right? The hormones are fucking acting up. Think about like a bunch of airplanes in the sky, but none of them have a radar. So they're all just crashing into fucking each other and just like splitting up. No one knows where everyone's going. It's all complicated, but we end up going through and clutching it and getting the win.
Yeah, sometimes. But no, what's it called? Like, I feel like this time period for girls is a lot more serious than for guys because guys hit puberty later. Like they mature later. Like, so for them, it's like grade 9, grade 10, basically. Yeah. So for a lot of girls, like you're trying to fit into your own body, but not even like a weight thing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, some people are like, oh, like I'm too big or I'm too skinny or something. Like, what people think of when they be like, oh, like I'm trying to fit into my body. You know what I mean? But it's like this and then this are two totally different things. And when you're going through all these hormonal changes and stuff, this is the only thing that's working. This is shut off. No one's listening to, you're not listening to your heart, nothing. And I feel like for me, like the 2 years that I was at that school, like from 5 to 6, it's like I was like perfect, fitting in with everyone, like making sure I was doing everything right. And like, that's the way I was brought up. My life was always a schedule, if that makes sense.
Elaborate.
So like, wake up, go to school, go to soccer, come home. Everything was a schedule, and I had to do these things. You know what I mean? Like, dress nice when you went here. Don't wear your hair too high when you go here. Make sure your hair is not up when you go here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of structure, especially on my appearance. So I feel like in grade 7, that's when I started to rebel. And that's when so much stuff was happening at my school with the people around me. And I was losing I see this now, but back then I thought I lost myself. But the thing is, looking at it now, I just never knew who I was. Because I was told I was this person, and then when I tried being that person, no one liked it. And then I realized, like, now growing up, I'm neither of those two people. I am my own person, like, basically. Like, I was always letting other people define me, and I feel like social media a lot too in grade 7.
It's huge,
like it
followers, likes.
I wish that I never had a phone or I never had an iPod, because like it showed me stuff that I shouldn't have known about at that age, basically. Even like TV shows and everything, of like all these ways that people are like dealing with what they're going through, if that makes sense. Like, I was in a very dark place when I was younger, very dark, and you saw that from the outside.
I did,
but you never knew the inside.
You were always brushing it off though. Like, you always had like
still am.
Well, we all are companions and all this stuff, like boyfriends and relationships, and you know, and like I remember like you going through like some sort of like fucked up shit where you're just bouncing back and forth.
I was acting like a hoe. I wasn't.
You weren't.
It's actually hilarious that you bring this up, because I was talking to Benello and he asked me, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like laughing. I was like, I was showing him TikToks, and he's like, "Amanda, answer my question." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Amanda, I'm serious. Like, emotionally, are you okay?" And I was like, obviously not, whatever. And I was like, obviously not. I'm like, I'm not happy with my life right now, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was talking to Lauren, and I was like, tell me why I fully laughed in his face when he asked me that. And like, why, like, I keep like trying to mask it and like throw away the question, like change the subject. And she straight up said, "Amanda, can I be honest with you?" And she said, "'Cause you don't believe that you deserve to feel okay." And she said, Lauren got bars. And that's the thing. And she said, she's like, "You feel that you don't deserve love, and that's the way you were brought up." And I was like, I straight up said, "Okay, I gotta go pee, bye." And I hung up the phone on her, because it was so much like truth, and I couldn't handle it. And that was why, because I see this now. Do you ever know me have you ever seen me not with a significant other? No. Well, no. What? No, you weren't. If I wasn't dating someone, I was talking to someone. I'm going back. You're trying to think of a time when I wasn't. Holy fuck. Yeah. And I see that now, and it's like half the guys, like I didn't even kiss them. Like, I was just talking to them. And it was because I was always missing that type of love. It was never given to me. And people look at me and they're like, "What do you mean? Like, your parents are together, you have a nice family, your whole family's together." Like, and people go say, "You're rich, you have everything, you have money." They say that to me, and I look at them and I laugh. I'm literally just like, what does that have to do with anything? And it's like, I felt that because I couldn't love myself, I always needed someone to love me. And that's why I always had a significant other. And if I didn't have a significant other, I always had that one friend I was really, really close to, and me and that friend are probably not friends anymore. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's hard. And I think me as opposite, never been with anyone. Exactly. So I'm totally okay with it. Can I say something? You're the complete opposite of me, where it's like, you are so okay with yourself that you're scared to let someone like love you and then fuck up like your perspective of yourself. Right on. Yeah. Amanda said this one quote. I have it up there. You need to hear it. I need to hear it to let it. I need to hear it to let it out. You need to say it to let it go. Bro, when you said that night when I was FaceTiming someone and I was really pissed off, and I called you at 3:00 in the morning, and I was just out of place because exactly what you said happened, where it's just like someone just was trying to change my perspective, and I was catching it, and like I didn't realize it until the end, and I'm just like, now it's 2:00 in the morning and I'm just butthurt. So I'm like, oh, yo, I need to either voice memo, talk to someone, go on a drive. I can't go to bed right now. Yeah. So I called you, and I remember you picked up, and like when I say
thank God you picked up.
I don't sleep.
When I wasn't doing anything like bad. Like, I don't think that any, like,
you were just in a bad place.
I was just in a bad place. Like, bad mood. Everyone's in a bad mood.
Yeah, that was literally me the other night when I didn't answer your call.
Friends are so important. Like, good friends are so important when that specific time is happening, because sometimes I don't want to talk to my brothers about that shit. I don't want to talk to my parents about that stuff, you know? Like, I want to talk to like a friend.
Someone
there's a difference between like talking to your brother and talking to your friend.
They're always going to have that like protective side for you, I guess. So it's like, if you were to say that to your brothers, they'd probably be like, "Oh, you're better than her. Like, just let it go." You know what I mean? Where it's like me, it's like,
I think I have your perspective, like girl perspective too, right? Like what do you think was going on?
Yeah,
like, that's why I always go to you when I have like these specific problems. But I think that's a perfect way of saying, like, I was content with myself. Don't get me wrong. I was always content with myself, whether that was grade 6 and grade 2. Like, I was always content I was always content with myself, and I was always doing my own thing. And sometimes I would give in and be a follower, but I would always realize that, like, fucking grade 3, like, I would
still do that.
Yeah, I would always realize that and break away from it real quick. My point is, you always pick up. I could always rely on you when I'm like down bad or like at night and like just thinking too much. I'm like, you know what? I gotta let it out. Because sometimes I'm just like, there's so much shit in my mind, and I always take shit from people, and I always brush it off because it's not worth my time. But the shit stacks up, you know? And sometimes if you keep it all in your head, it will affect future conflicts, right?
You'll explode.
More people would be like, you'll anger more people because you're so bitter, right? Because of past experiences or past people, or, you know, when you're cheesed at someone.
Me.
Yeah, you know when you're cheesed at someone and you just fucking like, anyone who comes to you or any interactions you had, you're just in a mood.
I'm still like that. That was literally the reason why I didn't answer your call the other night. Like, so many people were texting me, calling me. I didn't answer because I was just in a shit mood because everything built up.
Yeah, I sensed it.
I was talking about the social media thing and how it gave me knowledge on stuff I didn't need knowledge on. And it showed me ways that other people were dealing with this.
Yeah.
And what I was going through was exactly what these people were going through, but it wasn't actually what these people were going through because I was looking at like actors basically from like I actually remember this vividly. One time when I saw something, it was from a scene from American Horror Story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like I could relate to her so much. Like she's literally me. But like now I look back and I'm like, that was her fucking job to be doing that. And that wasn't real, what she was doing. And it's especially like when you're that age and you don't know what you're feeling and you don't know what you're going through.
And there's a bunch of airplanes crashing.
Yeah. And like, but imagine that. Imagine a bunch of airplanes crashing, but just you and just in your head.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for me. It was
for everyone though. It was for everyone.
I know, but I'm just talking about me.
Yeah.
No, I know that was for everyone, but that's the thing. There was a lot of people, a lot of people, and there are some people that I talk to now, and they would tell me like, "Oh, in grade 7, I felt that way too."
Everyone did because it was the beginning of the adolescence era. It was the beginning of new things and girls and sex.
Exactly.
And who's gonna get their first kiss? You know, like if you got your first kiss and you kiss someone, it's like, oh my God, and in your head you're just like,
not for me.
Huh? Well, for me especially, right? Because I was always like that. You're cute, but like you're kind of. I was too open.
Yeah.
Right. If we're really gonna talk about girls, I was way too open, and I was always.
A lot of girls just like you're like my best friend.
Yeah.
Like you know.
And I always hated the friend zone, but I didn't mind it either because I was like, yeah, it was cool because I get the other perspective. But sometimes I was looking at the people around me, especially like my brothers and stuff, and I'm just like. Fuck.
Well, it's like, yeah, I'm best friends with her, but you're dating her.
You're dating her. So it's like,
so what am I? Like, it's weird.
So, yeah, I just didn't like it. So I think, especially in grade 10, when I got my first kiss, I was like, yeah, it was that late. When did you get yours? First kiss? Grade like 3?
Shut up.
When did you get your first kiss? Like grade 6?
Grade 7.
Grade 7.
Okay. There was one in grade 6, but it didn't count because it was like our friends shoved our faces into each other. And
see, that's the funny part of fucking...
like that's hilarious. I'm not gonna... We were literally legitimately playing. It was the first like party and there was like 10 of us and we went to go play Spin the Bottle.
Yes.
And we literally played Spin the Bottle in grade 6. And like my friend purposely made it like land on this boy and then she like pushed us together and like I don't count that. But I don't know if like that person counts it. My first actual kiss is grade 7.
Yeah. And I think my first kiss was forced too. My first kiss was set up. That's what it was. It was like Andrew's a friend for you. Go in the cantina. And they all barged in, and I was nervous as fuck. I think I know how to do it. Like it was, I think that's what I want to talk about. It's funny as fuck. Wait, what?
Was your first kiss like a hookup though?
Yeah.
Okay, no, my first kiss was just a kiss.
But that's what I'm saying. Mine was
because it was so much later and everything.
Yeah, it was so
not
much
later, but it was like at that age, everyone was already doing that. Yeah, like so you had to.
A peck was nothing. A peck was nothing. Yeah. So I was inside the cantina, and I remember being set up, and I was like, I'm kind of uncomfortable. I don't know. But then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, whatever. I got all Angie's friends. Go, Michael, go. And they all thought I was like an innocent boy, right? Yeah. Even though I probably thought the same things they thought, they just did. I didn't.
Yeah, like they took actions and you didn't.
And I was just awkward with it because I just didn't know how. So when I first got it, and then I was just, after I got it, and then I'm like, okay, I got to get something else. Can you do it? And she's like, I don't know how. I'm like, yo, just do it. And people were like, I wanted to get out of that cantina feeling like a boss. I wanted to do all these things the first time because to catch up from everyone that did it before.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to be like cool. Like I remember they all barged in the cantina with their flashlights and they were like, oh, like, and I was just like, I felt like a boss. I felt like sick.
Yeah.
But then I realized it's like, yo, this is fucking overrated. Like, like it's all overrated.
Yeah.
Like I literally was like, oh, I never had my first kiss. I'm so innocent. I'm such a bitch. I can't finish. And then I got it. I'm just like, that's it. That's what it was. It was just like I felt like I had to catch up. And in order to do that, I had to like do things that I was uncomfortable with. If I was back in my grade 10 self, like my grade 10 self, that wasn't me. You know, but I was forced to do that because of the people around me.
Because not a lot of people know this. And like, I will say this about myself right now. All of my past choices were always like influenced by a toxic person in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I regret so many of the things. And a lot of my choices, not even like that stuff, just like actions and like schoolwork, even like homework, if we can go basically that, soccer, like everything was based off of the people around my life and going back to me not knowing who I was.
Yeah.
And so I would let other people basically decide who I was. And I feel like because of all of that, not being able to do anything myself.
Like it's like you're like a bigger sister because you did in grade 6 and everyone else did in grade 10.
That's literally, and it's like I love that I could be there for my friends and help them and like talk them
through. But you don't know everything.
Stuff that should have been happening in high school was happening, even like losing friends and like dealing with like bullying and all that stuff. I experienced all that stuff in elementary school, and a lot of people usually go through that in high school. So the people that I was friends with who were going through that in high school would come talk to me and ask me how I dealt with this and how I did this and how I did that, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And like I loved that I could help them, but I hated the fact that I knew what they were feeling, if that makes sense.
Where in like your lifespan, like especially like adolescence area, would you say like, you know what, I finally feel like good about myself?
It's actually really funny you say that. It was a couple months before I met Bonello, so I want to say grade 11 March-ish. And that was after like I just have gotten out of a relationship basically, and at that point there was already prior relations to it, and I straight up did this. I went into my freaking mirror and I literally said to myself, you're not crying, you're better than this, find yourself. I said that to myself, and not even gonna lie, from that point on I literally only did what made me happy. I didn't care, even like I would rebel, but I would rebel for the good reasons.
Yeah.
Like I would rebel for myself.
So you think like grade 11?
Grade 11 March, right before I met Bonello, and I always say this, please put this in the fuck, but like I always say this, like serious, I always say this to everyone, like one of the main reasons that me and Bonello have like lasted how long we lasted, because you know, like I haven't really. I
didn't think it was gonna last.
Exactly. No, everyone
thought. Give it a summer.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone thought that, and it's like because that's how all of my past relationships have been. And the main reason that me and Bonello have lasted the way how long we lasted is because I knew the signs that I had to watch out for.
Yeah.
I knew what I was looking for, and above all of that, I knew who I was, and I knew that I literally said to myself, if this guy leaves me after 3 months, I will be fine.
That's because I'm not healthy as fuck.
Yeah, and like because I'm not gonna base my feelings off of this one person anymore because I've been doing that for too long in my entire life, basically.
You have though. And I told you, and like literally, and like when you were like past relationships too, I was like, yo, man to man, figure shit out, yo. Like you're all over the place. I was telling you straight up, and it was hard to tell someone that's been through all this shit. Like I haven't been through one high school relationship, so I don't know. But have I helped people with theirs? Yeah. Why? I don't fucking know. Why are they asking me? It's like I have a magic wand. Like I haven't been into one relationship. It is actually. It's because the fact that you haven't been in a relationship and you could see it from the outside and you can't be like, oh, but I felt this way for that person too, so I know. You're just seeing it like he's treating you like shit. Leave. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you don't have any, oh, but he did that for you. Oh, but I would do that to my girlfriend. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like you're the perfect person to talk to actually about that, especially in like toxic relationships, which is majority of all of the ones I've been in. Like, literally. It's but I remember we were talking about this with Olivia too. It's like because Olivia was the same as you, like going through it in and out of relationships and trying to fill the gap and not knowing like where honestly, her gap falls in. Before you say anything else, I feel like me and Olivia are like kind of the same with that because I'm not gonna say we're the same person, but we've experienced the same things. Yeah, and I believe you see the people who have experienced the same thing always end up doing like always following the same track, if that makes sense. Facts. Like I could list. I don't want to name drop every single fucking person I'm thinking about, but yeah, it's a truth. It's like I think it happens unanimously with every single person and anywhere they are in the world the same way because during adolescence it's a fucking tough time. Yeah, I think it's the toughest time in. I can't say this because I'm not like fucking 40 and I can't be like, oh, back in the day. Like, I think it's the funnest time because you have the most freedom. The freedom in adolescence, especially in high school, is the toughest thing because the fact that you have so much freedom to do anything, right? Go to a party, pick your friends, pick your courses, pick who you're going to have lunch with. Yeah. Little things like those, it really fucking matters. Mm-hmm. And all those decisions will either backfire on you, will either piss someone off, or will either love someone for it, right? It will benefit you. And it's like, there's so many different ways things go wrong. And there's no right answer. There's always going to be the tough decision. And you're always going to think back and be like, fuck, I wish I went the other way. But you're never going to know. You're never going to know. No matter what you do, you're never going to know the right decision until you make the wrong one. Seriously. And there will never be a right answer. And that's what I think. That's what I think. And going back to I wanted to talk about the part that I liked about the previous podcast before I had to take it down. The fact of growing up fast and the fact of knowing where you're going to want to go. Right? The fact of figuring out everything that everyone wants to be super successful back then and like everyone's so successful at the age of 20 and you're all like, fuck, where am I going? People who know their career right now and the people who know their path and the people who are getting successful younger are the people who have they haven't really experienced the shit yet. Like you, for example, you know what you're doing. You haven't But I still have gone through my doubts. But you haven't fallen apart. You haven't gotten what you loved fully taken away from you and ripped out of your heart, basically. Facts, okay. And I have. I grew up, basically, every idea I had wasn't really good enough. Whether it was friends or whether it was family. And I had to always stick to the thing that was supposed to be done. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I feel like that is one of the reasons why I'm so confused right now with what I want to do with my life. And I don't know what I'm doing in school. And I don't know what I want to do with a career because every idea that I had when I was younger was always taken away from me, and I was told that I wasn't good enough to do this. So now growing up, I'm like, what the fuck? What do I do? Yeah. And that's why I'm saying the people who do know what they they're very lucky people. You're a very lucky person. I think that want to switch bodies. But then again, remember what you talked about of knowing what they went through before. You in grade 6, you have experienced all that things with guys and problems and 7, 8. In grade 7 and 8, you have experienced all those things that people are experiencing in grade 10, right? Yeah. So you feel more mature, more wiser because you've been through it. I know what I want to do because ever since I was a little kid, I've always had this idea in mind. I always wanted to be an engineer or something because I just like building. You always wanted to create. But I want to do a video on that separately. But yeah, I always wanted to create, whether it's atmosphere, experiences, everything. Right, experiences. Create the mood. turn the red lights on. Create anything. I always wanted to have like some sort of like when everyone was playing at recess, right? I was writing a script. Right? When everyone was doing like, I remember in my grade 5 class, when everyone did like a card or like a speech or something for the student teacher, I put together a play. Right? When I was always, you know me in grade fucking 9, 10, 11 drama, I was always that person was like, you go there, you sit there, you say this like this. Like I was always like that.
I wanted to be that person, but you always took over.
Exactly. I always took over, but that was me. Like that was the thing that I was passionate about.
I feel like
that affected me though.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people actually envied that about you too. Because some people wish they had like the confidence, whatever. Not even gonna get on that. But you said something. You're like, when everyone was out for recess, like I was inside writing scripts, and that sprung a memory of one time. Everyone was outside for recess. I think this was grade 7, and I was in the washroom and I was writing a song. Because like that's like that was my passion at one point. You know what I mean? Singing, writing, all that. So I remember I wrote a song, and I remember I straight up. I think I sang it to like my friend at the time, and she just laughed in my face. And remember in the other podcast when I was saying, I was like, oh, I wanted to do singing, blah, blah, this stuff. And then started people making fun of me, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And like when that happened, I feel like that was like the starting point of me going,
fuck this.
Well, if I can't do that, what am I supposed to do?
See, I get that though. Everyone has a past. Everyone has some sort of reason why they go on this like stream. Like for me, I had a reason for me to like go literally insane because I've kept every single thing in my fucking head since grade 7.
Yeah, I was about to say that for years. And I just piled it on and brushed it off. And then in grade 10, I was like, okay, I can't fucking do this anymore. That was your breaking point.
And then in grade 11, I seen like, okay, a better. And then ego, I said this.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Everyone needs to have their breaking point.
Okay. And like people that have like,
people who haven't had their breaking point, like, I guess just waiting to hit them like a freaking tsunami.
If we're going to sum it up, growing up is like, I definitely think it's a hard thing to do. And I think teenagers themselves get a lot of slack for like fucking around when they're like teenagers and like, oh, like why would you do this? You're like having a bad friend group. It's like, but
it's like, when else am I supposed to have a bad friend group? When else am I going to have
a bad friend group? When else am I like it? No matter what, back in the day it was the same fucking thing. I don't care whether my dad said technology is changing everything. No, it's not. It's like, it's the same thing. Everyone's confused. Everyone's trying to figure their shit out.
You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have your fun. You're going to learn from everything. And it's like,
everyone remembers their high school years.
Yeah.
Ask your parents right now. I don't want to rant about something and not have a solution about it, even though there is really no solution. But I think the best advice, what would your best advice be to someone like just going through shit? Even though I think it's hard to define, but something that you wish you...
This is gonna sound tacky.
It always does.
It always does. But I have like 7 things. That might be over exaggerating, but still. Don't let other people define you. And if you feel something in your gut, do it, and don't let that outer voice tell you not to, or that inner voice to tell you not to. And
it will be hard because I give in.
It will be fun.
You're gonna give in though. You're gonna give in, but like
realize 99.9% that you're going to end up doing the wrong thing. Always make sure by the end of it you could look at yourself and realize that it was the wrong thing.
Yeah. If you fuck up, be like, okay, fucked up. Learn from it.
Grow from it. And it's like your parents always say that to you, like, oh, you grow from this, whatever, blah, blah. But it's like, it's true, but it's different from when it's coming from yourself and then when it's coming from your parents or anyone else around you. Because once you realize, and it always ends up being back onto yourself and your self-worth and everything. And it's like, once you realize your self-worth, then like, you're good. Yeah, stuff is still going to happen, but like, you're going to be, you'll be better.
You have a wall in your body, okay? And once people will have a fucking send armies every single day, and you'll keep battling people and keep battling arguments, but once that wall breaks, right, there's no way of breaking that wall. The only way you could do it, you could break that wall, is you open that drawbridge. You know what I'm saying? And you let the army, and you let them take over. And that's when people get it in your head, rent free. You know, like that line. Like, that's where you let people in, because people's thoughts will always hurt you. Like, you always have little cracks or scars and shit.
Yeah.
There was an analogy, it was like, once a paper is crumpled, it will never be like perfect again.
I swear to God, I was going to give a piece of paper and I was going to do that to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, crumble this.
Like, it will never be same, but and again, J. Cole, this is not a podcast if I don't talk about J. Cole. I might bend, but I won't fold. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because you may bend, but you will never crease.
I don't know if you had it on your wall.
I do. It's For Your Still Drives.
Yeah, but it's not written on it.
Possibly. It's probably behind one of the vinyls.
Okay, whatever.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, people will always fuck around with you. You'll always be damaged in one way or another. But it's like, you got to get up and you got to just go through and you got to toughen it out, because things will always get better. Like, no matter what, things will get better, and you will always have bad days. I don't want to sound cliche. I want to try to sound as real as possible.
Yeah, like
you'll always fuck around. Like, you always have bad days. You always feel like, God damn it, why the fuck am I here? You always have those like self-doubt, but you just got to move on and let the day go by and sleep on it and wake up and always think like tomorrow's a new day. Because yesterday I had a bummy day, and today I wasn't supposed to film this podcast. I wasn't on my schedule. I'm off of schedule by everything, but it's just like, think about the good things, right? Everyone always thinks about the bad things. So think about the good things, right? That correlates to the video about the voice in my head and how I just feel like talking to myself. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, bro, I feel like shit, but I don't know why. And I start listening to things that I'm like worried about. And then when I hear it out loud, I'm like, damn, that's petty, but why do I feel like that? Why do I feel this way? And then I can't sleep. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't fucking sleep. And I was just chilling in my beanbag. I'm like, what? Music's not doing it. I would try to listen to music because usually that makes me like calm down. Music wasn't doing it. And it was 3 o'clock and I'm just like looking up and I'm like, fuck. And then what I started to do, I started figuring out all the good shit. All the good shit. Friends, awards, family, every single thing that I accomplished in my life in general. I just started listing that out word for word. And it changed my mood. It changed my mood. And I was from down bad. Literally 10 minutes ago, I was recording something about how fucking like mad I'm at right now. And I don't know why. And I feel lost and all this shit. And I finally figured, I'm like, holy fuck. I was just surrounding myself with all these negative thoughts and I just filled in positive. And I forced myself to think like that. And it actually cleared my mind. And like, honestly, I advise that. Like, yeah. if all goes loose,
yeah, if people are like you.
Music, huh? People are like me.
If people are like you.
If you overthink like me, do that.
If people are like me, everything you just said is not gonna work.
But anything could be accomplished. It's like I said before, a homeless man could be glad that he's alive. Everyone has something to be thankful for.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And it's like usually
awards or no awards.
I'm gonna say this. This is what I hate, because this always sounds selfish. And like, I don't think I've ever met someone who goes, oh no, but Amanda, like, who understands it. Like, Lauren's the only person I think who only understands this. But like, because she just knows me or whatever. But it's like, I could have the world, literally, I could be a billionaire. I could have Kylie Jenner's life and I still won't be happy with myself. I could have all the family and friends I want, everything, and I still won't be happy, because I feel like all of that's coming like from here.
Maybe inside.
And that's going back to the learning how to like love yourself and how to accept yourself and everything, because it's like, yeah, you're having these negative thoughts, but then you're going to fill them with positive thoughts, but then that's going to last like a good hot day. And then you're just going to realize everything again. And like, that's how like I am. See, it's like hard. You could sit down. Me too. But you have ways to like cope, I guess, if that's me. Like, you could record, you listen to your music, you have ways that could cope. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could get yourself out of the mood. Yeah. Where like people like me, anyways, like, it's like, I can't get myself out of the mood, so I just force myself to pretend that I'm okay, if that makes sense. And I hate saying that, because it's like, I pretend that I'm okay.
Everyone does that, so they can't even get mad.
Exactly. It's like, I'm gonna, like, I act like literally. Because
the more attention you bring to yourself, you don't want to be like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Like,
exactly.
You don't want to speak about it. The only reason why you're mad is because,
No, yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's funny because it's like so many people say like, oh, like, you're so funny, or like, you're so, I'm funny. Okay.
Yeah. You're funny sometimes.
All the time. Anyways.
Most of the time annoying though, but it's fine.
It's fine. Anyways. So yeah, like, no, like, some people be like, you're so funny. Like, literally, Lauren was like to me, she's like, I love you because you always make me laugh.
Lauren laughs at everything.
Yeah, stop!
Lauren laughs at everything.
We were talking about that.
You're screaming into the fucking microphone.
I'm yelling, but I hate that. No, like, I'm a funny person. She's laughing at my jokes.
Someone that says they're funny or not funny.
Okay, I'm not.
You have a great sense of humor.
Listen to what I'm about to say. People always go, oh, you're funny, ha ha ha. Or it's like, oh, like, you're always so happy. Like, you always take things like in a good way. For example, something happened last night where it's like, someone says something to me and I literally go, oh no, blah, blah, blah. And I literally acted I killed them with kindness, basically. Yeah. But it's like, I went home that night and it's like the mask comes off.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been for literally, how old am I? I'm 18.
Yeah. Everyone struggles with that though. I'm going to do a video soon about that. I want to have a video about masks and like taking them off.
I got the biggest fucking mask, bitch.
Right? But everyone wears it. Everyone wears it.
Mine's the most expensive.
No. Everyone wears masks.
Did you get it?
Huh?
Did you get it?
I don't know the joke.
Because it's like usually like the expensive things are like the good quality ones and they won't like break.
Oh. See, you're funny. You just gotta learn how to.
I always have to explain my jokes for people to laugh with you. I always have to explain my jokes for you, and then you go, oh. Anyway. Okay.
I could talk forever.
I know. This is suck.
Did I conclude it? I want to conclude it.
You did conclude it, and then I started talking, basically.
Okay, well.
Anyway, guys,
stop screaming in the fucking microphone.
Anyway, guys, thank you for watching Michael's Teen Talk podcast. My name is Amanda Giordano, and follow me on my platforms.
Thank you for coming on again. I think we'll do more. Me and Amanda have the best conversations. Don't. You're going to fuck up the audio. Stop. No, leave it. Me and Amanda have the best conversations. Most of them should be private, but that's why it's super hard to talk in public. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, please. I look at the likes. I do. And those motivate me to like want to do it more. The views I understand, but the likes are big for me. And I'm starting to lose all my 8-year-old subscribers. So...
they're all growing up.
No, they're not all growing up. They want to see box fort videos, and I'm giving them Teen Talk videos. So
that's amazing.
I want to refill. I gotta restock my subscriber count. So guys, go ahead, subscribe.
Follow me on Instagram. It's gonna be right here, and then follow me on TikTok. It's also gonna be right here.
Damn, you're making me do extra editing.
It's a name. Also, if you want to add me on Snapchat,
don't. That one's funny. I should take that clip from the last one and put it in this. The outro was way better last time.
Yeah.
Okay.